Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. This is the instruction video for this week, week 14. So to access the content for this week, as always, you'll go into the course content folder, then scroll down and select week 14's topic, which is healthcare, specifically social problems pertaining to health and healthcare. So here you'll see the assigned weekly content for this week. This first link is to the chapter from our online textbook that goes into great detail explaining social problems pertaining to health and healthcare in the United States. It takes a look at some demographic intersections with health disparities, specifically looking at how social class, race, and gender all impact an individual's health and the quality of health care that they receive. It also provides sociological explanations, of course, using our big three theories, functionalism, conflict theory, and symbolic interactionism, to explain how sociologists using those three different theoretical perspectives examine health and healthcare differently. The next assigned reading is an article from a magazine titled "Women Are Dying Because Doctors Treat Us Like Men." So this takes a closer look at how women are specifically treated inferiorly in comparison to men in healthcare settings. It also looks at some good intersections between gender and race in the context of health and healthcare. So a really interesting reading there. The next reading below that is titled "Coronavirus Compounds Inequality and Endangers Communities of Color." So given the current health pandemic that we're experiencing, I wanted to make sure to incorporate some more current readings into your content for this week. This particular reading is relatively brief, but it does a good job looking at how this coronavirus and this pandemic are particularly going to be problematic and dangerous for marginalized communities. This reading focuses specifically on how people of color and also people of lower socioeconomic status are likely going to be the most oppressed. Following and kind of building off that, I've included something that I wrote earlier this week. It's just kind of an op-ed opinion-based piece. But it's definitely, since I wrote it, written through a sociological lens and examining kind of some of the current implications of the coronavirus. So the reason I shared this is because, like I said, it is sociologically informed. It's pertaining to COVID-19, so it's related to social problems in relation to health and healthcare. But I also drew in a lot of insight from an intersectional perspective, specifically looking at how this kind of surge to reopen states now is likely going to most negatively impact marginalized communities. So it's kind of, I felt, a good extension from this reading here about inequalities pertaining to the coronavirus, specifically affecting people of color. This piece that I wrote just kind of builds off of that and addresses a lot of the issues with reopening states too soon without having sufficient data to support that as being a scholarly and informed choice. This next reading down here just talks about how some recent research that's been conducted that argues in favor of the United States adopting a Medicare for all or a universal health care coverage plan in comparison to the private insurance way that we typically go about paying for health care now. And then lastly, this is an optional video for the week. I didn't make it required because these readings are a little bit long and I think it'll take you a good amount of time to get through, so I didn't want to make this documentary required. But it is, I think, a really great documentary. It's called Sicko. Does a good job kind of exposing a lot of the problems with the United States, the healthcare system that we currently have in the United States, specifically our use of private insurance and the many flaws that produces, especially and making it very difficult for marginalized communities to seek adequate healthcare in the US. So it's optional, you don't need to view it, but I think it's a really entertaining documentary, entertaining and informative documentary. It is a little dated. It was made in 2007, I think, so almost 13 years old now, but nonetheless, we still have the same healthcare system that we had at the time of the production of this film, so it is still relevant today. And then lastly, just 3 mini lectures this week going over different topics pertaining to social problems in health and healthcare, and then of course the PowerPoint slides attached here as well. So for your assignment this week, we're just going to go back and do another discussion board. So to get to the assignment, you'll go to discussion forum under collaboration tools, and then you will scroll down here to the week 14 discussion forum titled Week 14 Assignment Healthcare. And you'll see I posted 4 questions that I'd like you to write your responses to. So to write your thread, you'll just click on that link for the week 14, and then here you'll hit create thread. When you do that, the questions will pop back up so you can see those. Again, you just type in a subject or a title for your post, and then click in this text box here and type your responses and go ahead and submit. So as is in previous weeks, you're not required to reply to any other students' posts, but definitely I would encourage you to read through other students, especially these last couple of questions here that are kind of more so asking for your informed and educated opinions on topics pertaining to the pandemic, and then of course potential solutions that we could pose in the US to solving social problems related to health and healthcare. I think it'd be really interesting to see some conversation amongst yourself and your peers in this course. So that's an option available to you as well. So that's it for this week. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. I hope you are all staying well and doing well. I'm thinking about all of you. Stay well, keep up the good work in this class, and I'll talk to you soon.